We're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stardust in Sweatpants. This is episode 3. My name is Stephanie. I'm a Hellenistic astrologer. In the middle here we have, go ahead, Jordan.
Jordan, I'm the psychic medium.
7 spirit fingers. I'm the tarot reader.
I can't, with Stardust in Sweatpants, not do this.
Right.
Because of Stardust. But today we have Jordan in the hot seat. So we've done kind of an introductory. We did last week's was about astrology, and today we're going between worlds with psychics and mediumship. So any comments that you have about spirit, communicating with spirit, readings, anything for Jordan, ask Jordan. We're going to be grilling her, but also we would like a little bit of participation in grilling her too. If you have any questions before we posted to anybody that wants specific questions to message her. And so we have your lists plus our list plus anything that you can think of while we're talking. Let her know and ask her any questions.
Hi, Victoria. Welcome in.
I'm getting in here so I can see as people come in.
Okay.
So, all right, we're going to start with the questions that were asked to you on your Facebook page.
Okay.
Do you want to do names or anonymous?
It was all anonymous. So
all anonymous?
Yeah.
Okay. 7, do you want to ask her the first question or should
I'll ask her something.
Okay.
All right. I don't know what yet. My brain is literally just gonna fire. So when we've touched base, should we go? Do you want to retouch base on some things we've touched on, on the other podcasts, or do you want me to just something completely new?
I'm in the hot seat. Y'all get to decide how this goes.
Okay. All right. Well, I find it fascinating how you incorporate what you do with, reading, complete strangers, with how you integrate that with your day-to-day life. So I guess I would ask how you do incorporate that into your everyday life.
So like how readings and like how that's just normal for me. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
So everything is very intention based for me. Even if I'm in like a grocery store, if I can remember, I will be like, okay, look, I'm just trying to get in and out of here. I don't want to be overwhelmed. I don't want to communicate with spirit. I don't want anything connected to me. I don't want to know what's going to happen to them in a week. I'm good. Now, that is something I've had to learn though. So when I very first started my page on Facebook, my page was not called Sunflower Souls. My page was called A Day in the Life. And the whole focus was basically like, I'm going to take you guys everywhere with me and I'm going to show you guys what it's like to be psychic and be in public. And so I did this whole walkthrough of like when I initially walk into Walmart and all the emotions, everything that hits me all at once, even walking through those little like, they're not metal detectors, but I'm going to use that term right now.
Yeah.
When you first walk in, like the anti-steal devices.
Yeah.
Those messed me up so bad, like messed up my equilibrium and everything. So, I mean, this has been like a whole journey for me to learn how to like protect myself, ground my energy, stay in the moment every time I'm doing something. So again, it's very intentional. Now, when it comes to like channeling, helping people, connecting to people, even this morning, my mom called me and I wound up in a whole channel for her. And I was like, look, I know you called me to just tell me some things, but I am getting stuff. Do you want to know what it is? It kind of just opened for me when I was organically having this conversation, and she'll tell me either yes or no, or anybody that I'm talking to for that matter. Yeah. Sometimes I will bring it up. Sometimes I won't. It depends on the energy that I'm getting when I'm connecting to that person. Like, would they be receptive to it? I can feel it if they will or not to know if I should tell them or if I shouldn't. But to me, it's all normal. Like I literally woke up this morning and my lights were flickering in my house. And I was like, I know y'all are here. I know you're ready to talk. It scared me. It wasn't like, but before I learned these things, totally would have freaked me out.
Now, do you ever like, I'm going to just tell them anyway, even though it won't be well received? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because.
Yep.
Round and find out type of thing.
Yep. I'm like, I know you didn't ask, but I'm getting it and it feels really important and you can do whatever you want with it. If you don't care, that's cool. I just can't keep it. I'm not going to
Yeah.
be the house to this knowledge for you.
Right.
So yeah.
Is that everything on that question?
Yep.
Because mine is one of my personal ones, because even though I've been in the metaphysical community for a long time, I kind of stick to my own stuff. But I did not understand the distinction between psychic energy and how those readings go, and mediumship and how those readings go, and what the difference is and what the similarities are between being a psychic and being a medium.
Okay, great question. So, psychic connects to the physical world. So that's how I'm able to connect to someone's health. It's how I connect to what their career is. I can connect to their family members. I connect to their loved ones. It has to do with the physical world. Mediumship has to do with the afterlife, with spirit communication, and that's the differentiation there. So all mediums have psychic abilities. So anyone that communicates with the spirit world can also channel and connect to someone's body, but not all psychics will grow into the mediumship aspect of it.
Okay.
So they may find comfort in being a deep empath, or a complete empath, which means that they can connect to a physical body. They can connect to someone's mental health. They can connect to what someone does if someone's pregnant, if there's a warning and someone needs to be careful when they're driving. Those are all psychic connections. And someone may find, familiarity and comfort in that and not want to connect to the spirit and try to figure all that out. And something I've taught always is that mediumship isn't simple, and it isn't just connecting to people. That's a tough one for a lot of people. So even in the classes that I've taught, it's like, oh, well, mediumship and connecting to loved ones. Why did I see this dark figure? Why did I see a pet? There's this weird dog in my bedroom. Why am I experiencing these? And there's confusion in what mediumship actually is. Because it's everything beyond the veil. So it's like angels, guides, lower vibrational energies, demons. I mean, it's all of it. It's pets, it's animals. There's so much. And there's even things that like don't make sense for Earth that you can connect to.
Yeah.
Like interdimensional beings, extraterrestrial beings. There's so many things that you'll see and connect to in mediumship that can incite fear, where someone may minimize that part of their gifts and abilities and stick to the psychic, because the psychic is like the pinnacles in tarot. It's real. It's Earth. It's here. It makes sense. There's not a fear connection to it.
Now I have a question bouncing off of that. And I know I've asked this before, because this was something I actually genuinely asked you before when I was connecting to things, was how do you know if what you're connecting to is actually like a spirit, or if you're just getting a psychic intuition on someone's like past memories with somebody, like if it's really the spirit of that person that passed, or if it's just you're picking up on a past history memory with that person?
I use all my clairs. So it depends on like, am I smelling something that doesn't make sense to you? Like when I connected to your dad the first time and I got cigarettes and you're like, oh, my dad was a smoker. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm tasting alcohol real bad. And you're like, he drank too. Yeah. Those were things that weren't true for you, but they were true for him. And it came through me. And I don't remember the actual term for that, Claire, but it was the taste. So
Claire, no.
I don't remember. It's not.
I'll have to Google it.
Yeah. I'll pull it up really quick.
Claire
gustance.
Yeah, gustance.
Okay. Claire gustance is clear tasting. So if I'm connecting to something to you in your physical body, I feel it in my physical body. If I'm connecting to a spirit, it's all in my head. It's all in my mind. It's imagery that I'm getting, or I'll get an image. If somebody passed away in a car accident, I'll feel like I'm in that car, but I don't feel it in my body. It's in my mind. So it would be like if you're watching a movie of someone dying in a car accident versus you actually being in that car.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the differentiation for me. So it's like watching a movie in my head when I connect to spirit versus this thing is physically happening to me in my body. Now, here's where that gets even deeper. If someone has passed away and their soul is not at peace, they're earthbound, they have not transitioned, you will feel it in your physical body as if it's happening to you. That took me a very long time to understand. That took me a very long time to figure out. And it feels like the way that they pass is going to happen to you. You're hyper aware of it. You're like, for me in the past, I've scheduled doctor's appointments. I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. This is the heart thing. I'm freaking out about it. What's going on? And lo and behold, I find out later, one of my clients, I was already pre-channeling for them. They had a loved one who just passed away. They passed of something heart related. And immediately when I sit down, I'm like, I can place the energy, then it goes away. And then I can help that person cross over, because now I'm the bridge, literally, between where they're stuck and who they want to talk to. And I can go back through their whole passing, the day, all the events that led up to it, exactly how they felt, the remorse they're holding, the pain that they were experiencing, if there was a mental health thing that caused this, if this was something that was like drug or alcohol related. I can get all that information and give it to the family. And that allows that person to find peace and can allow them to cross over as well.
There was actually, you'd mentioned before, all earthbound, and there was actually a comment from a viewer that said, have you had any experiences with extraterrestrials?
So
I feel like that's a whole other podcast.
it is, and I could talk about that for hours. The basic answer is yes, and I'll tell you 2 quick stories about that. So I did a deep dive. I was having all of these dreams. They weren't making sense. I felt like I was an extraterrestrial. I felt like I was losing my mind. I started like Googling all this stuff, talking to my husband about it. He's kind of like my walking encyclopedia because he can read something one time and remember it forever. And I brought it up to him and I was like, there's these, extraterrestrial beings, but they're in the earth. And there's all this connection to them. And I know that I was one of them at one point in time. And I know I lived in the earth. And I know I was like 12 feet tall. And how the hell can something exist inside of earth? I felt so crazy, right? So I did this whole deep dive on it, found these beings. That freaked me out even more. They're real, y'all. There's so much stuff on YouTube you can go find about them. They do live on the earth. They have a whole purpose. They don't really like interacting with humans. They will if they have to. There is some collaborative effort that's going on between like humankind and these beings. And then I was like, well, if I was one of these beings before, why am I a human now? I had all these questions, right? And so there was this deep dive. And during that experience that I had, my husband and I went through a part of town that's like notorious for extraterrestrial activity. And we were driving over this bridge and everything in the car started like going crazy. The radio was changing. We weren't messing with it. The car was revving. We weren't doing anything. And he and I both looked up at the same time and we were like, oh shit. Because there was this giant metal mass in the sky. And literally as soon as we saw it, it was gone. And we both just looked at each other like, did that fucking happen? But it happened to both of us at the same time. So we know it did. So that's one of my experiences with extraterrestrials. I also experienced a different type of extraterrestrial through a reading I did for a woman. She did not understand why she was forgetting things. She couldn't understand it. She thought she was like, she had
like dementia?
DID, something like that, dissociative identity disorder, where you can switch. She thought that was what was happening to her. Lo and behold, it was not. There was a lot of extraterrestrial influence with that. And when I really got into the channel with her, it scared her and I. And to be in fear and see what's happening to someone and be sharing that with them and them going, oh my God, I have memory of all of that and what's happening to their body. And yes, I had bruises there. And yes, that was my experience. And yes, I felt that way. And yes, I'm afraid to go in this room in my house. And everything I'm saying to her that I'm channeling, that I'm seeing made sense to her, freaked us both out. And we were both like, okay, we need to spend more time with this. So I actually worked with her for like 3 full months so we could uncover what was being hidden from her. So then she could work with these beings and find out why they kept erasing her memory. And she was actually able to do it. It was crazy.
How would you even protect yourself from something like that?
Right?
I have a motto. I'm scared. I do it anyway. It's not for me. This woman came to me. She needed my help, and I have the ability to help her. At this point, it's beyond me. And if I am going to be hurt or if anything is going to come of it for me, I'm not accepting that. I am fully protected from that because I'm being called to action. I'm being called into service. We're in control of everything. Everything we channel, everything we think, every way we react to somebody, we are in control. And luckily enough, I was at a point in my journey where I had learned a good bit about that, and I had started setting boundaries with spirits. I don't like being touched. I don't like them messing with my hair. I don't like it when they all bum rush me all at once, which honestly feels like if you go to a party and there's like 30 people in the room and then all of a sudden they all realize that you just fell and all eyes are on you, that's what it feels like for me to be bum rushed by spirit. I don't like that. It gives me like fight or flight out of body feeling. So I'm like, look, homies, I'll talk to all of you, but you all need to line up. Get in line, and when I'm ready to talk to you, you can come to the front of the line. You're not going to bum rush me like that. So instead of having everyone all at once, it's more so like when you see those, book authors and they're just signing their name for each person that walks up and having a mini conversation. I'm more in control of it, but again, I had to learn how to be in control of it. The same rule applied with that whole, I don't even know what you would call that. I wouldn't call it mediumship or psychic channeling. I don't have a term for that. Being able to help that woman with the extraterrestrial thing and give her memories back. I have no term for that.
Space guidance?
I guess. I was like an intergalactic bitch right then. I don't know. That's what I got for it.
That's definitely, I think something that people don't think about is that there could be a connection to something like that.
Yeah.
But there's so much that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just having to figure that out and then uncover it and then work it out with the client, that's a lot.
Yeah. To answer Victoria Rose really quick, she said, what is it called if you can feel their pain while visioning them alive and deceased? That's clear feeling. That's clairsentience. You feel emotions, physical sensations, energetic imprints from others or spiritual sources always in your body. So you're using one of your clairs when you're doing that.
I get very physically reactive.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people don't, and I know that's aggressive. And then I could understand where you said earlier about having to schedule doctor's appointments, and that can be really expensive for your insurance.
It is. It is.
Until you figure out that it's not yours.
Yes. So that is one of the things that's one of my showcases when I teach classes. Isn't mine. You have to sit with it. You have to. And a lot of the times too, I've learned in my own experience, this is different for every person, that it'll stick with me until I can place it. So for the past 3 months, I've been hyper aware of my husband, hyper aware of something happening to a husband. It's a father as well. And it is just had me completely beside myself, where I'm like asking everybody I know, hey, how's Dad's health? How's Pop-Pop's health? How's your husband? How's your husband? I'm asking everybody because I'm like, once I place this, it'll go away. I don't have to actually tell that person. It could just be like a regular conversation. But once I get it right, it'll go away. And I finally figured it out. And it did. It's gone now. Not bothering me. I'm not trying to tell my husband, hey, put your seatbelt on. Don't be on your phone when you're driving. Don't do this. Don't do that. I'm not like helicopter wifing him because I figured it out. But those things still happen to me. And even if I can separate the energy from like, okay, geez, I know it's not mine, but I'm clearly being called to do something about it because even though it's not mine, it's still bothering me. So I will know for sure it isn't mine, but it still feels like it's going to happen to me until I can figure it out. And sometimes, most of the time, it has to do with clients.
I mean, because you've already been really, really deep in their energy. So I'm assuming that, especially when you have a personal connection with your clients, that they would probably come through first.
And it's before I get to their reading. So let's say, hypothetically, 7 books with me in February. I start getting messages for her now, even though she hasn't booked until February. And I won't know that the messages are for her in February until I get into her reading. That I haven't figured out yet.
Do you do that too, where you get them after? Like I'll get like synchronicities revolving a person after I've read them. Do you do that?
Not as much now. In the beginning, yes, because I was so afraid to say things to people. But now I'm like, I'm not carrying this for you for 2 weeks because I'm scared to say it. And I'll just say it. I don't want to carry it.
Sometimes I'll get after realizations. Where like during a reading, I just dump random information and I'm like, I have no idea where this comes from, but this. And then later I'll realize what that was, like what the intention was, why I needed to say that to them in that moment, or why I had to say that in that moment. So I have after realizations. I just open
and
mouth.
every now and again, so yes, now that you've said that, I'm like, oh wait, no, I do that. So every now and again, I'll bring something up. Like I had a reading not long ago, and it was something about the husband's job, and I was like, I don't think he's gonna lose his job, but I do feel like something like that, and it bothered me, and I wasn't getting the message when I was sitting there face to face with this woman, and it was her question. She wanted to know about him and his career because she didn't feel like he was on the right path, and it was kind of ruining things for them. And I was like, something does change, something does end, but not in the way that you're expecting it to. And then like 2 days later, it just came to me out of the blue. So I messaged her what it was.
Oh, nice.
I was like, he's going to work at the same company. He's going to be in a different department. He's going to have a different title, but it's going to be like, fuck, because you're still there. But he's not, though. And give him the space, because he's going to need it to be in this new place, because it's going to be new to him. All of it. The whole job thing will be new. But I did not get it when I was in the reading with her. And because it was one of her like main questions, I made sure to go back and tell her a couple days later when I did get it. Brooke said, I want to show this really quick. I have experienced with spirits and trying to help them. I have kind of closed it off because I get too scared with it. But I would love to be able to be in control of it. The fear comes from them doing things and you reacting instead of you telling them what they're allowed to do. So it would be like a spirit comes through and they're so chaotic, they're knocking shit off of shelves because they can't come to terms with the fact that they've passed away and their soul is not at peace. They're knocking things off the shelves, they're flickering lights, they're messing with your car radio. They're just doing shit that's scaring you and keeping you in this fear state. When that fear state is high, it's almost like they can attach to you more and more and more, where you're experiencing more and more of what happened to them and less and less of your actual life. Your energy isn't grounded and the fear takes over. So you can literally, it's like you're having a conversation with someone who is going through like a mental crisis. You have to talk to them like they're still alive. You have to communicate with them like, okay, you're here. Yeah, you are. We're having a conversation. Calm the fuck down. I don't like that. You're scaring everybody. That's not safe. I can't put you back in your body, but I can help you. And I can only help you if you can slow down, calm down, and we can be on the same level. See how my energy is here and you're way up here? I need you to come here and match me. Calm down a little bit. Let me talk and we'll figure this out together. Who are you trying to communicate with? And you'll almost always get a feeling. If it's a woman, if it's a man, what happened? Then they start taking you through what happened. Why are you freaking out at this moment? What's the connection to this moment right here? Then you find out they were supposed to call somebody and did it, and then they passed away tragically. And you're like, okay, I know now. Guess what? It's back in the world. You don't have to keep this anymore. You don't have to carry this anymore. You don't even have to give that message to the person. You may not even know who it is. You just got attached to by somebody who didn't cross over because they knew you could help them. As long as you have the information and you're playing this out in your mind, this isn't even a conversation you have to have out loud. Just have it in your own mind, but you have to narrate that. It's like a child who's like freaking the fuck out, and you have to calm that child down. And then you have to be able to have a conversation with that child. It's the same with them because they're so frantic because they don't understand what happened. They don't understand why they passed away. They weren't expecting this to happen. They have so much unfinished business. That could be like, if they were going to feed their dog that day and then they're like freaking out because they passed away and can't connect to the dog because they're earthbound and stuck and wanting to know if the dog was fed. And then you can psychically connect to it and go, hey, this woman with blonde hair has your dog. You don't have to worry about it. And then they're like, that's my mom. And then you're like, okay, next problem. So it's problem, solution, problem, solution, problem, solution. But you cannot let them dictate to you how you're supposed to feel or what you are supposed to do for them. You have to stay in control of it all of the time. The hardest part about this, Brooke, is the fact that you have to go through how they died with them. And it feels like you're going to die that way. That is the hardest part of getting earthbound spirits to cross over. You have to be willing to share the experience with them for them to go, oh my God, you understand. I don't have to feel this way anymore. And then the release happens. And it is hard to feel like you're dying over and over and over and over again.
That reminds me, I don't know, have you ever seen that? I want to say it was a show, and I want to say it was called House on Haunted Hill, and I could be wrong. But the storyline, every episode, it was very kind of scary from seeing what was happening in the house until you started learning the backstory of, because the spirit would walk through the house. It would, I think, grab a hold of somebody and bring them into the water. Do you know what I'm talking about, Steph?
The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, that.
Such a good show.
By the end of it, you realize it's not really scary. And that I love that whole concept, because in the beginning it is terrifying. But then the more it gets broke down and the more you understand it, and fear is just a lack of understanding. So if you can more so understand something, you then get knowledge is power. So I
have a similar experience to what you just explained. So when I was living in my old house, I had this dark figure that followed me around all the time. No, it didn't matter how many times I saged, didn't matter what I did. And it was getting to the point that I was getting nervous. I wouldn't necessarily say scared, but it was more so like, this is bad. This is getting real bad. I can't get rid of you. And that's not typical for me. And then I was like, you know what? Just shift your thought process. What if this is somebody who passed away and they're holding so much negativity about their life and they hate themselves and they're just trying to get you to see that? And so I was like, maybe you don't want to hurt me. Maybe you just need me. And when I flipped that thought process, I saw his face. And then when I saw his face, I was like, okay, I can do something here. So I got my singing bowl out, because I was like, I just felt it organically. I felt like I needed to do something with sound energy to be able to pull this person back through and get all this darkness off of them. So I grabbed my big singing bowl and I was playing it in my bedroom. I only played it for like 5 or 10 minutes. And then I just saw this whole man in front, and he was crying and he was hysterical. And he was like, no one's been able to see me this way. He had passed away like 50 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, I've just been waiting all of this time for someone to see that I didn't want to hurt them. And they couldn't, because what he had done in his life was so awful to him that it turned him into this being in the afterlife. And the more people connected to fear and were scared of him, the more he became this being, and it became his truth. So he wasn't actually a demon and trying to hurt anybody. He was a man who was lost. And I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have had that whole, just like, I don't know if it was a download from my higher self or an aha moment or what, of like, I'm just not going to be scared of him and I'm going to see what happens. I didn't even know it was a him at the time. I was like, I'm not going to be scared of this thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it wants from me. Clearly it needs something. Let's figure out what it is. And that was my experience with that. And then I was able to help him cross over, and I've never seen him again.
I mean, that's probably a huge relief for that. I mean, so it's like when you have a conversation with somebody and somebody's really amped up and angry.
Yep.
And you start yelling about the situation too. And then you just keep amping each other up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be a huge relief. Let me see. I'm trying to check the comments for questions, trying to make sure we don't miss anybody, because I'm bad about comments. Another viewer question was, can you tell if a place is haunted just by seeing a picture of it, or do you have to physically be there?
Yes. I can see a picture of it and immediately know. I can even watch TV shows. So here's the thing. Here's a funny story. I can watch TV shows and know when people are bullshitting. So if they're like, oh my God, this place is so haunted, I'm like, no, the fuck, you're such an asshole. Like, this place is not even haunted. Like, how fucking dare they, dude? And it's annoying to my husband, but then we'll like go look it up and it really won't be a haunted place. It's just like, people make it up. People go there. They do it on purpose. It's kind of just like known for being haunted, but not haunted. And I will know just based on a visual.
You also know too when someone's going to pass away by seeing them, right?
Yes.
Because you and I have had those conversations.
Yes. And also another funny thing that happens with TV, because this is like the visual. If I just see something, do I know something? My husband's so over me at this point, because we'll be watching a TV show and I'm like, babe, that man is not alive anymore. That man just popped in my head and told me that was not a good angle. They should have never recorded me like that. And I'm like, not only that, he died of cancer, and he died of stomach cancer. Look it up. My husband, no shit, will sit there next to me, look it up, and be like, I'm so through with you. Because he's not alive. He did pass away. He did die of stomach cancer.
You must not be able to watch the news.
No, I don't watch the news at all. I can't stand it. The fakeness,
And then not to mention that, like, what do you say? Especially when these news channels go live and like, we're standing here, and then you're like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It makes me want to go there and live broadcast and be like, yeah, dog, there's nothing here. Like, this is not the truth of what happened. This wasn't this, like, no. And sometimes, like, it's a blessing and a curse because sometimes I know things I'm just like, why did I need to know that? It makes me feel gross for knowing the truth and not being able to tell it, especially when it comes to the news.
I mean, there's just too many ways to get information for you to even start something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube, TikTok, all these paranormal investigation places, all of these paranormal investigation channels, and then also everywhere the news is. It would be too much.
Yeah.
To try and say something.
Yep.
Because I know that there's places, and especially in our area, everybody's like, oh my God, this place makes me feel crazy. Oh my, and I'm like, I don't feel anything. But I don't know if it's me or
You're
if it's just
shield,
not.
though.
I know.
So
I'm a little bit different, though.
you're very different. So someone who's more like me, very like hyper aware of energies, any sort of energy shift, doesn't matter if it's good or bad or anything at all. I feel it all. Because you're a shield, you could literally walk into a haunted place. You would know. You'd be like, "Is some shit in here?" But it wouldn't be like, "We need to get the fuck out of here right now. We're in danger." You would just be like, "La-di-da-di-da, can't fuck me. This is awesome."
Just
Whereas
everybody
for
else
me,
is
I would
freaking
be
out.
like,
I'm like
"Y'all need
making
to stay real close to
margaritas.
me." Do what?
Everybody else is freaking out. I'm just
Yep.
like making margaritas. Yeah, it's funky in here, but it's fine.
Yep.
I just know I won't be hurt or bothered. So
You can even have haunted objects in your house that could potentially hurt other people. They won't hurt you and they can't hurt anyone else because you own them. Because you are a shield.
Maybe I should have bought Annabelle.
Maybe.
no dolls. I don't even like dolls.
No, honestly, my husband would divorce me if I brought a doll into this house. So definitely no dolls.
I'd rather have a demon as a roommate than a doll.
Well, you basically would if you did that. So
Yeah, dolls are, it's not one of my triggers, but my husband would be 100% out of the house.
yeah.
That's his trigger. So let me double check the comments before we move on to some of these questions. From your experience, does spirit always listen to you, or has an entity ever overstepped your boundaries?
No, they don't. It's a constant. It's like people. You can have boundaries with people and they're not going to respect that. They were human at one point in time. You have to be willing to continue to set the boundary. I've been on live recently and been like, I'm not helping you because the spirit is pissing me off. They're influencing my thoughts so much that I can't even try to connect to the person I want to connect to because they're so frantic about wanting to connect to their loved one. I won't help them. Not right then and there. Maybe later when it's just me and them and I can actually give them the attention. But no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to come in here, fuck with my hair, touch me, push me, and make me feel flighty. I do not like any of that. If spirits do that to me, that you're getting annexed, buddy. If somebody did that to me in real life, also, I'm not fucking talking to you. That's how I set those boundaries, but they're every day.
Like, dude, if you're going to touch me, how about a massage?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Right?
Won't you, if you can push something, won't you push a broom?
Yeah.
Push your broom.
I mean, I would love that. That's what I would tell them to do is push a broom. This
Yeah.
place needs some love. Let's see. Can you turn your gifts on and off so you don't want to be disturbed while you sleep?
You can't turn them off when you sleep. No, that's when you're the most connected to your subconscious. That's why a lot of people get messages from their loved ones in their dream state. It's your safest place. You're astral traveling. You're not in your body anyway. So there's not this connection to the physical body being in danger. Turning them off in sleep, I've found is impossible. Yes, you can turn them off in your waking life. You can just be a muggle. That's what I call it. I'm like, I'm a muggle today. Don't ask me anything.
I mean, that's a very good term for being able to turn it off and take a muggle moment.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we all need muggle moments because I think so many people don't understand that those feelings aren't yours, because I accidentally channel all the time.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
time. And I'll be just mad for no reason or emotional for no reason. And then I'll like look around and be like, oh, that's not for me. So being able to have those muggle moments is probably good for people that don't even use their gifts all of the time, just to be able to be like out here unaffected.
Yeah. And it's not even that you won't be unaffected. You still will. It just won't be like overwhelmingly affected by other people. I'm gonna throw these up really quick. Danum5509 said, but what about when you set those boundaries, then do they actually stop? So your loved ones, your people that are around you will, yes, but the spirits that want to communicate with you connected to other people may not. Yours will always respect you, and that'll be another way too for you to know. So sometimes that's tough too. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Like if I'm in danger, my loved ones will stop me, even if that means touching my body, but I will know that.
Right.
So they'll cross the boundary I've set. That boundary is more so like, don't fuck with me when I am not in danger. You know what I mean? But like if they need my attention, or if I need to answer a call, or something needs to happen, they'll still be able to do the things I was just saying, hey, don't do to me. If I'm not listening to them, if I'm having a muggle day and they don't want me to have a muggle day. So I hope that answered that. And then it says, or you just really have to block them out. I don't block anything, honestly. If I want to have a muggle day, I just intentionally have a muggle day. That's just the intention that I set going out. It's just like saying, I don't want to deal with a Karen when I go to the grocery store today. It might still happen. You just navigate it if it does. You choose to engage or you choose to walk away. Those are your fucking options. It's the same. Like, there's so much more we could do if we stopped looking at spirits like ghosts that want to hurt us and looking at them like there were people at one point in time.
Let's see. I'm going to bring these questions back up. And then after we get, I know Seven and I are anxious to get to our personal questions.
Yeah.
Because we
I
are
feel like a lot of
too.
people did ask some of the questions that I wanted to.
Yes, some of these I'm like, ooh, and then Jordan answered them, and I'm like, okay, I don't need to ask that anymore. Have you ever experienced something that made you wish you weren't a psychic medium?
Yes. Because even the connection to like family and friendships and like, do they actually like me as a person or are they using me? That is hard. Because there's the ego with that, and then there's also the truth behind it. And it's like, not to say I'm famous, I would never say that, but like people who are famous and they struggle with like, do you like me as a person or do you like me because everyone else likes me?
Right.
You know? So there's that aspect of it, and the whole like differentiation and like, am I just here to be used? Do you actually love me as a human being, or is it just what I can do for you? That is so disheartening sometimes with this. And then also, I really did not want to be a psychic medium when my Mima died when I was 16 and I could not see her. I didn't want to be gifted. I wanted it to just go away. I was so pissed. I was mad at myself. I was mad at the heavens. I was mad at hell. I was mad at God. I was mad at anything I could be mad at, because I was like, how? So Grandpa passed away when I was 12. I could see him all the time. I was constantly smelling him. He was everywhere. It was great. I was like, oh, he's not actually gone. He's like always here, you know? And then she died when I was 16 and I had nothing from her for years. And I was so angry. So that would be a major time where I just did not want to be gifted at all.
I got a question.
Okay.
What would you say to people who ask you why you can't come off with the lottery numbers on if you're psychic?
Because psychic is not about, you know, yes, there's the predictive aspect. It's about what's happening to you right now.
Yeah.
It's not about predicting who's going to win the lottery or giving you the lottery numbers like that. If someone is actually telling you that they can do that, they're full of shit. I've never, ever come across a medium who could do something like that.
Even astrologically, I know all of my lucky days.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I have the most potential to make money. And if the most potential to make money and my lucky days line up, I buy lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Just in case. But it is still not literal because I have yet to hit the lottery.
Yeah. And so I have done readings like that where I'm like, girl, go to the casino. So this windfall.
You told me that a few times. You're like, go play that ticket.
Yeah, and people win money, and they come back and they're like, holy shit, you're the lottery psychic. And I'm like, no. Don't say that. Don't put that out in the universe. I don't ever want to be known for that. It's like people who come to me about their car problems, and I'm like somehow psychic mechanic. I don't fucking know how I know that. I just did. It's weird. Okay. I don't know. I can't explain
Yeah.
that. It just happens.
Next time my car twitches, I'm just going to have to message you.
Yeah, but as far as like people being like, oh, you're so psychic, what are the winning lottery numbers? First off, you're the asshole I wouldn't tell even if I knew them.
Right. Hopefully, if you ever
don't
saw
get
me with a
access to
lottery
like that.
ticket in my
I'll
hand,
live.
you'd be like, go.
Right.
But yeah, you
I
don't,
only
you don't
ask
want
that
people
because
like
that is
that.
one I get all the time for like, oh, if you're really, authentic and organic, then why can't you do that? And why aren't you rich? I'm like, it doesn't work that way. It's a soul thing.
Exactly.
And
I'm living in my
energy.
purpose. Are you?
Now I have, however, I have been at a casino before, and you know those machines that pop up, it's like a ball with a number on it.
Yeah.
I hit all the wrong numbers, but right before it popped up, I was able to, I said it out loud, and the lady was like, what the hell? But like, it didn't matter because I didn't have it when it mattered.
Yeah. Now I have. So there's been 2 different times why I kept getting numbers repeatedly, and I did play them and I did hit on them, but it was never like millions of dollars.
Right.
It's like $100, which is awesome. I'm not shitting on that. Appreciate y'all for giving me the numbers for that.
Right.
But like, that's such a stupid question to ask someone who can literally help you.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, that's how I feel about a lot of questions. We've talked about it. I get triggered by what I call stupid questions, and I get no questions stupid, but there are some that are so shallow. It's like with the abilities that, you, Stephanie, me, some of the questions, and I know in the future we'll get them, and everyone's probably like, oh shit, but like, trust me when I say, like, some of them are like, it doesn't matter. Like when you come to somebody about something like, am I going to win the lottery, or when should I play? Those are stupid questions. Like, how about we work on your soul growth or stuff that's going on in your life that we can actually help you with that matter.
Yeah.
I usually hit him with another question. Like if somebody sits down with me and they're like, I want to know if I'm ever going to make a ton of money. I want to know if I'm ever going to be a millionaire. And I'm like, what would you use that money for?
Yeah, exactly.
And when they're just kind of stumped and they look at me and I'm like, what do you have now that you could buy that would perfect your life versus what do you need right now that would make you so happy you wouldn't need that money?
Yeah.
And then we get like, it's usually, and this is my experience, it's usually when people are like super hyper fixated on certain topics that feel super shallow.
Yeah.
They're just trying to mask.
Fill a void.
Yeah, mask and avoid. And they, they're sitting down with a stranger. They don't know that I can tell them about their wounds and their past and whatever. And it's kind of like that mask that they put up so they think this reading isn't going to be that deep, and it is. And then some people are assholes that just want money because their neighbor bought a new Tesla, a Cybertruck, and they want one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always have a disclaimer. So if anyone books a reading with me, the first thing I say to them is, this could get heavy. I'm already connecting to this, and that, and immediately seeing your face. And if at any point in time something comes up that you do not want to push into, you do not want messages on, somebody comes through from spirit you do not want to talk to, had that happen a few times too, just tell me, this is not for me. I'm here to help you. So knowing that disclaimer as soon as you sit down, you a little bit know what you're getting into, I feel like that helps people a lot too.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. You're right. They don't know what I'm going to say to them. They have no idea.
Especially if it's their first time.
Yeah.
And especially at live events. Like people come when I'm working and they'll sit down with their friend and they're like, this is going to be so fun. And I'm like, it might not be.
Yeah.
Have you done everything you wanted to do today?
Right.
Especially if I see someone like, ooh, we need to talk about this. Are you sure you want your friend sitting here with you while we get into this? Like there's always a disclaimer, especially in person.
Yeah.
Mm.
They're like, this is going to be great. It's going to be so fun. And then we're going to go to this and we're going to go to this. And I'm like, you might want to come back and reschedule those plans.
Yeah.
Depending on the topic. Another question from a viewer. Do you pick up messages from random strangers in passing?
Yes. It happens quite a lot. Even if it's not a random stranger, like I've literally been driving my car and slammed on my brakes before because I saw somebody step off of a curb that wasn't a living person. And then I have to go through the whole repertoire of why are you stepping out into traffic? Is this what happened? Do you know that you did this? And then it's a whole thing, becomes a whole thing for me while I'm driving my car.
It's a full-time job.
It is, but it's normal for me now. It doesn't feel like work all the time because I've been doing it for so long now that it's just kind of like second nature. It's like literally driving a car. I have to be responsible for this big machine, and then there's all these other people in this big machine that I'm responsible for, but I know how to do it. It's easy, and it's like second nature at this point.
Checking comments again. Just don't want to miss anybody. I don't want anybody to feel like they're not special. Everybody's special. Okay. What was your first memory of knowing you were tapping into your gifts?
Man, that goes back really, really far. I will say, though, I didn't accept the fact that I was actually a psychic medium and like knowing until I was probably like 18 or 19. So this is like even before on the first episode when I was talking about going live with my cousin and doing those readings and like knowing beyond the shadow of a doubt I was gifted. Even before that, there was a situation when I was like 18 or 19 with my now husband. And I just kept getting this overwhelming message about a mom having a heart attack. I had my mom go to cardiology. I had his mom go to cardiology. I had everybody get the clear. It wasn't going away. It was still happening to the point that like I had now stepped out of my comfort zone and told my mom, told his mom, told other moms that I knew, women I was working with that were mothers, because I was really trying to figure it out. And then what actually happened was his dad's wife at the time had a massive heart attack and almost died. She also had children and was a mother. And that happened when I was like 18 or 19, and it freaked us both out.
Oh, wow.
That same house that I was living in at the time had a lot of spirit activity. So a lot of like doors slamming. You would hear somebody running down the hallway. And this wasn't just stuff I was experiencing. It was stuff my husband and I were both experiencing. And I was just like, what is going on? But even then, I wasn't scared of it. I wasn't scared of the noise, the movement, the lights, like none of that. That scared me as a child, yes. And it scared me up until that point. But then when I was like, I had moved out of my family home and I was living on my own, I felt more in control of my life. I think that's what it was for me. And feeling more control of my life, I was less scared of what could happen.
When traveling or staying at a new place, do you have paranormal experiences?
Yes. So we'll tell the story about your house, Seven.
Oh.
So it was this year, right?
Mhm.
March of this year, I went to New York and visited Seven. And while I was there, I was at her house and I was like, hey, there's a woman in here. She's not so fond of some people who are here. And she's walking towards us. And Seven was like, okay, like, what does she want? What's going on? And I was like, she shifted the energy of the room. Can you feel it? And she was like, not really, no. And I was like, come here. And I had her come over to me. And I said, do you feel the temperature difference? This woman is standing right next to me right now. And she walked over there and was like, holy shit. Because it was so cold. It would give you chills right behind me where I was standing. And so I did this whole reading, told her all about it. And then we went down and my husband was like, oh, there's something in the basement. So we went down to her basement and there was this well in her basement and my husband's like trying to get through the wall to like climb into this creepy ass well in her basement because he's like, I gotta know what the spirits are doing down here.
That was the funniest thing I ever saw him out. You don't understand. He is so tall.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
like,
and to see this grown ass tall man wearing nothing but denim, by the way. He's like on this nice outfit and he don't care. He just crawls into this hole. I have a very old house. He crawls into a hole. I still haven't seen the well because I refuse to go in that hole. But he crawls in there. They're like, oh, God, you got to come in here and see this. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not going in there. Not going in there. So
when you got to know, you got to know.
Yeah, man. And
no,
he and I are both
thinking,
like that.
You know, like the ring, like Samara, is that her name? That climbs out of the ring. That's the kind of well I'm picturing in that hole, and I'm not going near that.
That's actually exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. Now, I know the things in this house and I are cool. We don't have conversations, though.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're here, we're here, we're coexisting. We're friends if you want to be. It'd be awesome if you'd help pay the rent. But, I mean, they don't do anything to me.
Yeah. No, they don't. And I told her, I said, this woman means you no harm. She's here to protect. She was a mother in her life. She's here to protect mothers. She's here to protect mothers and their children in specific. So nothing detrimental will happen to you and your children while you live in this house under her protection. She was specifically there to protect that house. And that's exactly how it played out.
Until things from the well start coming up.
No. So
Yeah.
even with the well, I did a whole reading about that too. And even though I did feel energy connected to it, it felt like it wanted to be there, not that it was trapped there.
I'm crazy.
Like there was
I'd
a
have turned it into
truth
a
in the
library.
land. Do what?
I'm crazy. I would have got in there, dug everything out, turned it into some sort of weird library.
No, so I did get a warning, and it was like, you're safe as long as you don't take anything. So that was the warning I got about being in the well, because we climbed through the wall, we went and looked at it all, and I was like, hey, you can be in here, but you can't touch anything, and you cannot take anything. These belongings are like sacred to this land. I have no idea how old this house is, but the well and being in the earth there was energy connected to it, and it's kind of like going to a museum, like seeing Annabelle. You can see her, but don't fucking touch her. You know what I mean? That was the warning that I got being in her house. So we didn't take anything. We didn't touch anything. We were just like, thanks for letting us explore. This was awesome. Glad we got to meet you guys. We're going to go back upstairs now.
I can tell you that when the new landlord bought the place and they were doing work and stuff down there, a lot of crazy stuff was happening. I could tell the house wasn't happy.
Yeah, it won't be because it's sacred. That land you live on is sacred. I told you this when I was there, but like for viewer content, that land is sacred. That well is sacred, and where it is and what it connects to in the earth is also sacred. And it's not just one spirit connected to that well. And we talked about this. We went over it. I told you all the people that I was connected to, and the man in the hallway, and like there was just so many things. I did a whole walkthrough of her whole house, y'all, and I told her about all the spirits that were in every room of her house. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like even if you buy a plastic bunch of flowers and go and take them and put them on a grave, it's just plastic flowers.
Yeah.
But it's the symbolism of putting them for honoring. It doesn't matter what it is, it's the intention behind it.
Yeah.
I also realize now in saying that just how much trouble I probably get into, not feeling the danger in things and just touching stuff.
But you don't have to worry about that because it can't connect to you because you're a shield.
I also don't want to listen. I don't want to be rude either. I just can't help the fact that I just bumble into things.
Being a shield means you don't influence either. So you wouldn't hurt anything by touching things. You're like Sweden, if that makes sense. You can't influence and you can't be influenced.
Wait, what happens if I touch things? Because I'm not a shield.
No, you're
I'm friends with everything.
Yes, but there's also like a dark aspect to what you are. You're like a dark angel, basically. So the occult, the weird, the creepy, the scary, all that stuff will flock to you. So you have to be careful with that. Stephanie's right. You don't know how to not touch things. Look at Rachel calling you out.
I just do.
It's my son's like that too. My younger one, I tell him all the time. He looks with his hands.
Yeah.
He doesn't look with his eyes. He's got to touch everything. I'm like, stop it.
I've worked on it. I have worked on it. I touch less than I used to.
She's like, I'm getting there.
But I still touch. I can't help it.
The other reason that it wouldn't affect you so much too, Seven, is the fact that you're a match for that darker energy. So you can't be influenced by it or be hurt by it, where someone who maybe is like an earth angel or a rainbow child or like a light worker, they could potentially be hurt by that energy, whereas your soul recognizes it. So it doesn't, there's no desire for understanding coming from the lower dimensions. So they don't try to hurt you or affect you.
Yeah.
Now you cannot have things in you couldn't go to Stephanie's house and take a bone from her house and take it home with you because it would fuck up everybody else around you. She can't gift you shit like that. She could have it at her house and you'd be totally safe to fuck with it at her house, but it's hers. It's like if somebody has a crazy ass pit bull, but if they're in the room, the pit bull won't attack anybody. That's Stephanie's belongings.
I have to remember this when thinking about just gifting people things. Like, I thought this was supposed to help. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Danielle said, I don't think I'm a shield. You're not. You're a mirror. You mirror everything to everyone, and that's why you have a hard time understanding who you are at the base of it all. Just as much as you interact, you need an equal amount of alone time because you need the introspection. Your personality will become someone else's personality because it's meant to. You came here to show people where they're fucking up. You came here to show people where they're hurting. You came here to show people the negative aspects of their personalities. You came here to show people how they love. You came here to be love. You're a mirror, not a shield. So that's why you don't feel like you're a shield. You're not.
It makes sense for her.
Yep. Came up in the Akashic reading too. I forgot about that. You're right. It sure did. You're a mirror.
Oh, speaking of mirrors, mirrors and doorways are known to be portals. What's your opinion on portals? Have you experienced heightened activity from them?
Yes. So there's a whole psychology about walking through doors and how your body perceives it as walking through a wall. And that's why you forget things when you walk into a new room.
Like the doorway effect or something
Yep.
like that? I've read about it.
Yep.
I try to trick it, but it's a thing. Like even knowing it's a thing and then trying to trick it so that I don't forget, it's still like walking through a portal and whatever's on the other side,
Yeah.
I forget.
Yep. So the mirror thing, let's talk about that because I have a very interesting story about that. So my husband and I were learning about mirrors. We were learning about interdimensional beings. We were learning about time travel. It was this deep dive spiritual awakening he and I were on together. And in that process, I did not know at the time you cannot have mirrors facing each other because it creates like,
doors.
Or
mirrors facing doors.
Yes, can't do that either because it literally turns that into a portal for any vessel to come through. Here's what happened. This was the old apartment that I had, and I had those like mirrors you can put jewelry in, like hang your jewelry in them?
Yes.
Yes.
I had that hanging on a door to the closet of my bathroom, and I had my main mirror to my bathroom over here.
Yeah.
Literally like a week into learning about this, he and I get woken up in the middle of the night from shattering glass and a man going, "Hey!" scared the shit out of both of us. We thought somebody broke into our house. Both jumped up out of bed, both ran around the house, couldn't find anything. Walked into the bathroom, the mirror that was hanging here with my jewelry in it, off the wall, smashed on the floor. Now this thing was like, there's no way that could have happened. Yeah. Other than something fucking traveled through this mirror and ripped it off the wall. It literally, because it was, it's like sticky tabs. So it had a hook behind it, 2 hooks holding it, and the sticky tabs all the way down the sides. It had ripped off to the point that it ripped part of the wood grain off of the door. Wow. That's not regular. That's not normal. No. It scared the shit out of both of us. Here's the real fucking kicker to that like to this day, I'm just going to accept it for what it was because I can't logically make sense of it. The man's voice that I heard exactly sounded like my grandpa that passed away when I was 12 years old. So I was like, is he a fucking time traveler? I've always had this question. I've always wondered ever since that happened. Was it really him? Was he a time traveler? Was he trying to tell me something? Did he protect me that day? Because I did not know that you couldn't face mirrors towards each other like that. Is he the reason it got ripped off the wall? I feel like it is, but I still have that question all the time.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I've ever heard about for mirrors personally, and I don't know if you believe this or not, is that you should never have mirrors facing your bed.
Yeah, that too.
While you're sleeping, because things can come in while you're sleeping, or if you astral project, you can get lost.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I got stuck in the loop, remember? Because mine's kind of facing my bed, but like the end of my bed's here, the mirror's here, but it's facing the bed.
Yeah, but it's not facing you from like, you don't have it behind your bed or in front of your bed. So
correct.
That's okay.
Okay.
I've
never heard that one though.
Fucking you up when you astral travel because of a mirror.
I mean, part of that, just don't have one when you're facing your bed because while you're sleeping, things can come through. But somebody elaborated on it once and talked something about the negative effects of astral travel if you have mirrors facing your bed.
You know what's interesting about all this to me too is technically our TVs are black mirrors, which is even more dangerous than a regular mirror. And almost everybody has a TV in their room facing their bed. So I would argue that point kind of with the whole astral travel projecting, like I don't like fear. I don't like telling people things that are going to scare them. Again, you're in control of everything that's going to happen. Everybody, it's a normal fucking thing. Everybody has a TV in the room. I have a TV right here facing my bed. It's literally a mirror. I can see myself in it. It's a reflection of me, you know? So I don't know. I could argue both sides at that point. I guess it would depend on who I was talking to and how it would affect their specific life.
Luna Bella on YouTube. I'm curious, what would I be? Because I feel like I'm multiple things.
Okay, you are, let me get the word for it. You're an illuminator. You came here to uplift fallen humanity. So there's a polarity in what you are. You can get with the lowest of the low, bottom of the barrel, have the same conversation that you would have with the CEO of a company. You're an illuminator. You turn people on. And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I mean that in like a true purpose, life path type of, this is what you do. You ignite people. They can just have, and it's also why people will come to you and like dump their whole life story to you. And you're just like, what the fuck? Because they need to release that to be the next evolved part of them. And you have that just organic ability to illuminate their path just through conversation. That's why when you feel connected to sending someone a song or telling someone to watch a show or just telling somebody something, you should always follow through with it because you're an illuminator.
Apparently the Victoria says, oh my God, I have a mirror facing my bed that is permanently on the wall and was there when I bought my trailer, but I do have a TV in front of it.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Because it's back to back. It's not glass to glass. Here, I'm just going to go through and put all of these on the screen for us. What if the mirror is covered up with tapestry that is facing the bed? That doesn't necessarily help. Have you seen all the videos where someone's like in a hotel room and they're like, how does this work? How can I put this above my face and you can see me on the other side of it? So would it prevent things from coming through? Yes, but it can still allow watching.
That's scary.
I mean, it is, but like, dude, we're humans. Who gives a fuck?
Mine is because, listen, mine's not scary because, oh my God, something's watching me. Mine's scary because what if like one spirit tells another spirit the embarrassing shit I do in my house when I'm by myself?
You know what's funny about that?
That's why I don't want to be watched.
What's funny about that is I've actually connected to that in people. And they're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I don't know. Somebody must be watching you or something. And it fucks them up when I say that. So I've stopped saying it.
Listen, I don't want people to know like my dancing habits when I'm cleaning my house or my ADHD driven playlists when I'm doing things around the house. I need to not be watched because it'd be an embarrassing story to hear somebody else tell me.
I wouldn't even mind. I'm surprised being a Sagittarius.
Listen, I'm for the most part never embarrassed, but every now and again.
Like, I don't want anybody watching me shower, which remember that one spirit I had was messing with people in the shower at my house. So that was a thing. So we had to deal with that because leave us alone in the shower, please.
Okay, so as of right now, I believe we've gone through all of the questions that were messaged to you, Jordan.
Okay.
So do you want to move on to our burning questions? Unless somebody's posted in the chat and I haven't seen it yet.
Rachel, she did. She said, what am I? I could sit here all day and listen to Jordan talk. Girl, you're an earth angel. That's why when like you will be so struck by negative things happening to the earth. You'll feel it as if it's happening to you. Suffering of the earth, suffering for specific kinds of people, being an advocate, almost like a humanitarian, wanting to advocate for people who don't have voices. That'll be such a huge part of you and who you are because you're literally an earth angel. You even struggle with being on earth, feel like you don't belong here, but you have a purpose here and you just want to go home, but nothing ever feels like home, no matter where you go and how far you travel, because you're an earth angel. What else? You're also somebody who will sacrifice to your own detriment. You put other people first too much. But you know you have to. There's such a part of you having to do that to be able to access the truth of your own journey and find out why you're actually here and what you're actually supposed to be doing. So every time you feel like you're wrong, just know you're actually right.
That is
Funny,
very
Stephanie
true.
has a huge mirror on the wall in the living room. They see it all, Stephanie. Bro, these ghosts are already seeing us naked. No, that's scary. Oh my gosh. Jordan, I feel like you have told me what I am, but I can't remember. You're so not to say you're just an empath, you're a deep empath, but there's a huge connection to like the physical body with you. And you can even do like what's called psychic surgery on people. Let me put you up here. Show. Why is it not showing? It doesn't want me to show her. You can even do like psychic surgery on people. I would look up a deep empath, what that means, because you have all of the empathic abilities, which means you can basically read somebody's mind. You can, the more you learn this, and it's not just like, oh man, my foot hurts because I'm around so-and-so and they broke their foot. You could fix it. You have the ability to influence their energy. You can do what's called psychic surgery. And you can learn that through learning the type of empath that you are, and also the differentiation between all of those. All of your clairs, you have them all. You're a psychic, you're also a medium. But if I really had to give you a title for all the things, I would say you're a deep empath. Look into that. It sounds so generic, girl, but it's so meaningful when you look into what it truly means and the abilities you actually have that you haven't even attempted to access yet. All right. I think that's all of your questions now. I went through the whole list of everybody.
Okay. I'm switching back and forth, making sure. Seven, do you want to ask a question?
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to think what I haven't already. I feel like I've asked a lot of questions. And then the ones I did have, other people took. I actually did have a question though. I thought of it, but then we got talking. Hold on. Let me rewind in my brain.
Everybody, give her space.
That was like such an epic, like.
That's what it sounds like when I'm trying to think. We're waking up the brain. Man, that was so distracting. Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, I can see your comments, Victoria. What's up? Did you ask something I didn't put up there?
Oh, she wants to know what she would be.
She is also, I'm just going to put this one on there because I don't see that comment. You are similar to Rachel, but there's a big difference. So there's a difference in the Earth Angel connection where hers is more like the actual Earth connecting to the Earth. Yours is more of a seasonal thing. And yours is more teaching. And teaching people to go through the motions season from season from season. In the winter, things are supposed to end. You're supposed to feel nasty. You're supposed to not want to connect with people. You're supposed to hermit mode. In the spring, you're happy. You're bubbling. You're creative. You're bebopping around. Like you're supposed to be, you're going to teach people through the things that have happened to you. So if I gave you a title, it would be like a teacher, but it's not like go teach a college course or go teach elementary school. Teach people what you've learned. You came here to learn things through experiences. Your soul wants to learn things through experiences, but needing to share those experiences and how that has been able to change your life. You have psychic abilities. You have mediumship abilities. There's a few clairs that are very dominant for you that you use. But if I had to give you a term, I would say you are a teacher.
Okay, I do have my question now.
Okay.
Before I forget it again. So do you feel like your abilities change, either get stronger or weaker during certain, like say a Mercury retrograde or when certain things are going on astrologically?
I wouldn't say stronger or less strong, but they're definitely more themed.
Okay.
So there'll be like a highlight during Mercury retrograde on like people making poor decisions in their life and being hyper focused on what those decisions should be. And a lot of my readings are like, okay, right now is not the time to do that. Right now, no. And If I look into the future to see when that happens for you, honestly, it doesn't happen until spring of next year. You're not supposed to be creating right now. And that can piss a lot of people off because they want it right now and they want to do it during Mercury retrograde and they're willing to fuck some things up to get to that point. But I'm like, look, homie, if you do this right now during this retrograde, I can't tell you why. I'm not an astrologer. I would go to Stephanie for that. I'll tell you can't do this shit till June or July. You'll go to her and maybe she'll be like, yeah, because you fucked up and didn't listen to her. You signed the document now and the next retrograde's in June or July. I won't know that.
Halloween,
you know?
when the veil is supposed to be thinner. What about Halloween? Is that more like strong for you? More...
So around Halloween and stuff is when people are more open to spirit communication. So I will get a lot more mediumship led messages, mediumship readings. Would I say it alters, affects, changes, or heightens my own abilities? No.
Is somebody cooking in a crock pot?
No.
Stephanie, are you? Anybody? I smell food like strong.
No.
Nobody's making anything here. I keep smelling like this smells really good, but I'm not making anything.
The only thing going on in my house is really loud roosters that apparently my microphone does not drown that out in the background.
Oh, I love it though. It's hilarious. But no,
it was perfect timing. I was until the pause to let you think, and then he came over and I'm like, thanks. Perfect timing.
No, it smells like somebody is cooking like a slow cooked like roast or something with potatoes in it. I don't know where that's coming from, but like it's hitting me out of nowhere.
It's coming from you channeling.
It smells so good. I can't get rid of it.
Now, that's going to be one of the things I make tomorrow for dinner. Like everything is put together ready for my fridge. So tomorrow when we go out, I can throw it in my crock pot, but it is not cooking now.
It smells so good, whatever it is. It's so overwhelming. I'm so hungry right now.
Well, let's see if anybody in the chat's cooking.
They're not cooking. They're eating, but they're not cooking.
Yeah, no, this smells like, man, whatever it is, it smells so good. That's why I was like, my kid didn't come down here and like make something. I am hungry, but this is a very specific meal and it's very specifically made, and I don't have all that stuff. So
yeah, you're literally channeling over there. I don't know if you're connecting to Stephanie and tomorrow and what she's cooking or what, but you're definitely channeling.
I mean, if you can hop a flight, there's plenty to go around. Just going to be a really, really long, expensive journey for a beef pot roast.
Is it tied with
yeah.
I can see it at this point.
It's a package with a beef roast entwined and held together with carrot, onion, celery, potatoes.
Yes. Oh my God.
She literally said that, carrot and potatoes.
I want some so bad.
Listen, but don't channel my fridge too much because it's a disaster. Let me think. Okay. So I'm trying to pick questions that I had that hadn't already been answered.
Okay.
Oh, what's your go-to grounding technique?
That. Deep breath. Feels cold in my throat. Feels like I'm in my body. I also do a lot with my hands. I need to see things. I'm a very visual person. I need to feel as well. So in between like readings and stuff, I will take a very deep breath, sit myself back in my body, clap my hands, make sure I can feel it. I'm real. I'm back in here. I'm Jordan. I'm not just this channeler. And I'll also take a sip of my drink. Those are my go-to, like every day. This is just regular me. I'm getting overwhelmed and I need to ground my energy. I also am always barefoot when I'm at someone's house because I need to feel the ground beneath my feet. When I'm channeling also, when I go live, I am always barefoot because I need that cold under my feet if I get overwhelmed when I'm channeling.
Mine's French fries.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah. So after I leave a big event, and I've done like, 6, 7, 8 readings back to back for several hours. I need to ground hard. And the first thing I do is hit up the nearest drive-through for French fries. And it didn't dawn on me until recently. I'm like, they're a root vegetable. And apparently it is a very common thing that potatoes in particular are very grounding.
Oh.
That's good to know.
It's just always been my thing. Hit up a drive-through, fries. Immediately, I just need fries. Even if I'm not that hungry, I just need some fries to ground me.
Yeah.
I just picture stuff like around me, like what it would smell, what it smells like, what it would taste like, or to touch, to feel, like the stuff that's in your very moment. That stuff around you helps ground me.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
She didn't ground herself, clearly. Get her surprise.
I don't know what happened. If you guys are watching and you have more questions, put them in the comments. I'm here to answer them. We may even do some like speed reads for you guys too. I know I tapped in a little bit to you guys to talk about who's the shield, who's this, who's that. But if you guys have other questions or there's other stuff you're curious about with being psychic or being a medium, I'm here to help with that. What was another one that I knew I wanted to cover? I know I wanted to cover the connection between a psychic and the difference in being a medium. I wanted to cover grounding. Oh, how to prepare yourself if you know you're going into a reading with somebody. I do everything for me. So if I'm going to be in a reading with someone, it's like I intentionally will put my perfume on. I'll just spray myself with perfume. I like to write things too because that helps me change the connection from it's all in my mind to being in the physical, where it doesn't feel like it sticks with me after the reading, and then I can send it to the person that I was doing the reading for because it was for them anyway. So it takes it out of the mind and it makes it real, and that also helps me like super ground my energy. And it's like a protective thing that I do whenever I'm doing a reading and I'm connecting to somebody.
I'm just gonna check in on her.
She's back. I'm bringing her in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a phone call. I have no idea why it kicked me off.
Woo.
Nope.
Ooh.
Music
Like
Fairy.
the seats right now.
I don't know what happened while I was gone, but I got a phone call. It usually doesn't kick me off, but apparently today it was going to.
That's okay. I just told them a little bit about like what I do to prepare for a reading if I know I have one scheduled. And then even in between readings, I try to give myself, now sometimes I'm notorious for going over in my readings. I'm bad at that because I can talk forever. And I want to help. And but in between readings, I will get up, I will stretch, I will walk around, I'll crack my knuckles, I'll lift my arms, I'll fluff my hair back out. I will just be in my body and be so very present in the moment right before I have to get into another reading.
Victoria mentioned something though that goes with what you're saying. Like, so how do you know if you're channeling or someone or if it's in your mind? Like, how do you tell the difference?
I want to know how I know I'm channeling, but it's hard to tell because I'm still learning about all of this stuff. You're gonna have to confront it. You're gonna have to ask, where's it coming from? Where'd that thought come from? What's going on? Am I supposed to say this to someone? Is it just for me? Curiosity is the key. That is why children have such an easier time connecting to all of this, and they will just organically tell you, hey, Pop-Pop's in the room, and you're like, what the fuck did they just say? There's no fear for them. It's all curiosity. They saw something and they were like, oh, fun, hi. They put their arms up and they want to be picked up by a spirit, and they're engaging with it. They don't feel like they're in danger. We as adults have to have that same energy. We have to go into it with a level of curiosity. So
I think the feeling, because I know you feel things.
Yes, but I get it in every way.
Yeah.
It's not just a feeling. It could be things popping into my head, visions popping into my head. It could literally be I see somebody out of the corner of my eye. It can be I feel something happening in my body. I can taste something. I can smell something. I can audibly hear something that no one else is hearing in the moment. There's so many ways to know, and it's still hard. I've been doing this publicly. I never use the word professionally because I'm always learning. Publicly for 8 years, and I still will find myself going, no wonder I feel like that right now. I just went and visited so-and-so, and I didn't feel that way when I went to their house. I feel that way now. Duh. That's what it was the whole time. So I will still have those moments too, where maybe I don't know in the moment. I know I didn't feel that way when I woke up, and I feel that way now. And then I'll realize later in the day, I picked something up. I connected to their energy, and I need to be back with myself. I need alone time for a little while. I need to do some things for me. Sometimes I even have to go above and beyond. Like, I need something sour in my mouth to really snap me out of it and get me back in my own body. Or I need like an ice cube on the back of my neck, or I need to put cold water on my feet, or I need to splash my face with something cold, because I will be so overwhelmed by someone else's energy, especially when it comes to my family. My family is a hard one for me. I've always taken on everything for them. To a fault. So when I leave family functions, that's when I find that I have the hardest time to disconnect and to know when I'm not channeling anymore and when I'm back connecting to myself.
So the sour in the mouth thing, apparently you can stop someone from having a panic attack.
Yeah.
By getting them to eat something super sour, because it's a shock to the nervous system. I wonder if that works the same way with you.
That's exactly why. And that's exactly how I learned how to do that. Having panic attacks, not knowing why, where it came from, where it stemmed from. And I would just pop a warhead in my mouth and be back in my body immediately. The same thing happens when you're channeling and you're overwhelmed with spirit and stuff. You do something like that, specifically designed for panic attacks, it has the same function, puts you right back in your body. Luna Bella, how do I help myself to open up my abilities even more? You have to try. You have to play around with it. You have to pay attention. You have to focus. When I connect to you, Luna Bella, we'll turn this into a mini reading. You feel like you're in the air to me. So I don't know if you like work on airplanes, if you are a pilot, or what are the people called who work on the airplane?
Flight attendant.
Yes, if you're a flight attendant, you feel like that to me. So even when you're not on the earth, I want to know what happens. That I would love to know if this is what you actually do for a living. One, I would love to know that. But two, I would love to know the influence of being in the air and being away from earth because of the connection to earth energy for you. And if it's harder for you or if it's easier for you when you're in the air. To me, it feels like it's easier for you because an airplane and aircraft, being in the air, feels like home to you. It feels more like home than having your feet on the ground and your feet in the dirt. You feel more grounded in the air to me, which is bizarre to me as a person, than you do when you're actually on the earth. So how do I help myself open up my abilities even more? When you are on an aircraft, even if you just travel a lot and you don't actually work on an airplane, when you are on an aircraft and you are traveling, look at all the people you're traveling with and see if you can pick one thing up about each person, but intentionally connect to them and intentionally disconnect from them, as if you're going to have a conversation with them and then stop the conversation. And you're just doing this in your mind. You don't have to actually walk up to them and talk to them. See what you get. And it could be something like aftershave. They just shaved their face. They're really tired. They might be pregnant. They could be this. They could be that. And specifically ask for evidence to be shown to you if you find somebody you feel so connected to when you're doing this and you're going person to person, and ask for evidence to be given to you. That person may wind up having a conversation with you. You'll see something about that person, could be on their luggage even. That's a tell that you were right about something that you connected to and channeled for that person. Now, some people could get pissed off at that and go, oh, that's intrusive. You shouldn't read people without, their knowledge or their know-how. Okay, well, you do it every time you walk into a room. You walk into a room and you see someone and they freak you out. You're like, what the fuck? Why do I feel nervous? Something's wrong with that person. I'm in danger. Guess what? You already read their energy. This is no different than that. You're not trying to do it to manipulate. You're not trying to do it to hurt. You're not trying to do it to cause harm. You are trying to understand something more about yourself, and that comes from a place of love. So there is a right and a wrong way to go about this. And yes, it could be argued from both ways. But when it comes to you and your safety and you learning more of these things about yourself, that is what I would recommend you doing. I've been thinking of doing it and becoming an airline hostess for a while. Oh my gosh. Do you travel a lot then? Is there a connection to that for you? I mean, outside of it being a desire?
Also, Jordan, what about suspension?
What do you mean, suspension?
So, if she operates better in the air, what about suspension? Or does it have to specifically be in a plane?
No, it wouldn't have to be in a plane, but I feel so connected to that for her.
For the air? Because there's suspension and there's weightless therapy and water.
Not water. Water's connected to earth. Hers is specifically air. I don't know if she's an air sign, but specifically being in air for her will do it for her. It's her cheat code. All right. Next one. Have you had any of your past fur babies visit you all the time? All of the time. I was literally driving home the other day and I was having a really tough morning. It was after some heavy readings and some really heavy stuff with family. And I just felt like I couldn't connect to the emotions to process anything. And as I was driving down the street, I saw a puppy version of my white Akita who passed away a couple years ago. And she was my baby. She was my everything. She passed away at 15. I had her since she was 9 weeks old. And I saw someone was driving down the street and this little white puppy with the floppy ears, the guy had it in his lap and I just lost it. She knew that I needed her. It's going to make me cry now. I needed her and she showed up for me because I was blocking out everybody. I was blocking out my spirit family and like, I just want to figure this out on my own. I don't want help right now. I was feeling very depressed that day and very beside myself. And she showed up and she was like, guess what, Mom? You didn't block me. And it really helped me connect to my emotions that day. And I also go deeper with that. I've had pets come through in people's readings. Next one. When I hear voices, when I ask questions, but I don't know if it's real or me making it up or ego, I think you would say. Oh, okay. So when you're asking those questions in your mind, does it feel peaceful when you get an answer? Or do you feel like an emotional, like, do you feel push-pull from it? Does it trigger you? Does it feel traumatic? That's what you need to know. If it can just be like a flowing conversation where there's not a lot of thought, it's just open, you're channeling. So you are also somebody who you're not a meditator as in you can do anything being still. You are going to channel the most when you're busy. So you're going to be able to channel a lot when you're doing laundry, washing dishes, folding clothes, sweeping the floor, vacuuming the house, driving your car. Everyday life, when you're busy, your body isn't looking for something to be in distress about because you're moving and you're functioning, and it quiets your mind. You need your mind to be quiet to know that you're organically connecting and channeling. It'll also happen to you when you're at work. Say you're at work and you're helping this family that you're working with right now, and you just start channeling and you're trying to help this guy get out of bed. And you're like, why do I feel like I need to tell you this? Why do I feel someone's trying to talk to me in my head? Why am I getting a mental image of a plaid shirt? Why do I feel like dessert's important today? Why is all this happening? You're moving, so you're channeling because you're not thinking about what needs to happen, what's the past, what's the present, what the future is. Your mind is quiet enough to allow you to connect. I learned to suck on a lemon when I would have a panic. Yes. Astral travel. Yes. It's been a while. Gotcha. All right. I think that's it for comments for right this second. If you have more stuff that you found to ask me, Stephanie.
I have a ton. Rapid fire.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been blocked from learning information?
Probably, yeah, definitely. Like my Mima died and I was completely blocked from her and blocked from my psychic gifts and abilities. And I didn't want to help anybody else. I didn't want to channel anybody else. I blocked it all out and I was blocked. And I learned, and I said this on the first episode, so I won't harp on it too much, but I learned years later during a live that I had actually blocked her because I was mad at her. I was mad at the way she passed away. I was mad that her wife passed away and she passed away within days of her wife because she found out, and I thought she chose her wife over me and I couldn't forgive her for it. She was my person. She was my mom. She was my everything. She was everything I ever wanted. I craved being around her. I craved her presence. She was my favorite person in the whole world. And she left me. And I felt so abandoned and I was so pissed off. So, yeah.
Do you think the emotional state of a client affects the accuracy of their readings?
The accuracy, no. How much information I will give them, yes. So if I'm with someone and they specifically want to know about finances, but their dad's coming through and they don't want to talk to him and I feel really overwhelmed about something that needs to be said to them, I may reroute and talk more about family than I will just harp on him if they don't want to communicate with him. But it'll be almost impossible for me to get the exact information they want at the time because something else is more pressing, something else is more dominant, and something else is more important. Can I still answer it? Yes. And I'll go back into what you said about being blocked. I get asked questions a lot of the time I don't have the answer to when you ask me. And I'll tell you that. I don't shy away from that. Somebody will ask me something, I'll be like, you know what? Honestly, I don't pick anything up for that right now. And I'm not going to try to make sense of it. I'm not going to try to tell you maybe it's not the right time. I'm not going to try to tell you that, you know, I'll figure it out. Sometimes I will. I'll be like, let me sit on it in a couple of days. If I don't message you, I still didn't get anything. If I reach out to you, I'll give you exactly what I got and I'll bring it up on the next live or something, if it happens live. But I don't know if that's necessarily being blocked from information or if it's just not important for that person or if I'm just not the person that's meant to read it.
Right. What is the funniest message you've ever received? I picked that greatest moment ever to ask.
Okay. So I got to figure out how to PG this. Funniest message I've ever done while I was in a reading with someone. This woman booked with me. And the highlight was on relationship for her. It wasn't actually on mediumship, but her bestie in spirit came through. And he was very flamboyant and he was very talkative about what happens between two people who love each other a lot. And he was talking about how she hadn't had that in a while and he was calling her out and it was the funny dude. I was like laughing and crying with this girl. It was so funny. And he was talking about how she needed to explore more of what she could do for herself and how he was disappointed because her drawer was empty. And he even gave her the name of the place she needed to go to and the name of the items she needed to buy because the focus needed to be on her loving herself because she was picking people, not even just men. She was picking people who couldn't even satisfy her physically, let alone emotionally. So she needed to learn how to satisfy herself in both ways before that person was going to come into her life. And it was just true. She had a best friend. He did pass away tragically. And that was exactly his personality and exactly his stance on love and relationship. But it was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, when things like that happen, you have to just kind of hope that they're very open to having a bestie conversation with a complete stranger.
Oh, yeah.
I know that some people probably come to you wanting specific messages from specific people.
Mm-hmm.
So why do some people not come through?
So there's a lot of reasons that'll happen. So like say 7 books with me and she wants to hear from her dad, but I'm picking up the woman who raised her, who was like, you know, a parent figure for her. And that woman has a lot of information she wants to share and she wants to give and she wants to talk about. It's not necessarily that her dad wouldn't want to come through or that he's not there. There's so many different reasons. And it could be that the person is so hyper-focused on hearing from that person that they would be intoxicated by it and be like, I want to talk to you every single day. I need to talk to you. You're the only person who can communicate with this person for me. They hold off until they know it's time. They know that that person's ready. It could also be that they're already back with you. They've already reincarnated. So yes, can you still connect to people who have reincarnated in spirit? Yes. But if they're already back with you and they're already back in your life, there's less of that desire and need in spirit for them to show up in that version of themselves because they're already back with you. So there's so many different reasons. So people have asked me too, like the whole connection I had to my Mimon, like, is heaven and hell real? Is she in hell? Can I not communicate to people in hell? What's going on? Is that what happened? I've had people ask me that too. They'll say, hey, you know, so-and-so passed away and I haven't dreamed of them. I haven't seen them. I haven't gotten any confirmation that their soul is at peace. And I will know that their soul is at peace, but I will also know that, and I'll be able to tell them, you did have a dream about them, but it was so traumatic for you. They have not pushed back into doing that with you because they want you awake. They want you living your life. They don't want you taking medications, trying to sleep, you know, staying in this paralysis version of yourself because you're so hyper fixated on communicating with them. And I was like, we can talk about it now and I can give you things to look for. And people miss things all the time too. They think things are just so normal that aren't. All the things that remind you of someone that they're communicating with you. And people overlook it and go, oh, I was reaching for that. I wanted that. I needed that to happen. And they made it happen. So there's things that are so missed as well that it's like, yes, that it would be like, you know, my Mima always stopped at green lights. She was notorious for it. When she's really communicating with me, either I will get stopped at a green light because someone in front of me stopped, or I will start to stop at a green light. And that's just my tell. I know she is there. She wants to tell me something. Something's going on. I need to be hyper aware and fixated on her. So there will be things like that. But like for someone, not to call people muggles, but for someone who doesn't have a lot of experience with the spiritual world, they will overlook so many things like that. It could be as simple as you have a picture of them on the mantle and you won't make eye contact with it. They're waiting for you to make eye contact with that picture before they feel like you're ready to see them, because you're grieving so much and there's too much pain that is blocking you from being able to organically feel, see, and hear them.
I mean, distraction is a very, very real thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for me personally, I never knew if it was a thing. I just believed it was a thing. So it was a thing. And then I just moved on with my life. Is every now and then I would feel like my shoulder heat up.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody with massive hands just put their warm hand on my shoulder. And I was just like, that's my grandpa. And then I would just take that information. And then it was what it was. But so many people question it constantly.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just have to take the information for what it is and be comforted by it.
Exactly.
I feel like sometimes people ask too many questions.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but I got about 15 minutes before I have to go.
Okay, we'll start wrapping this up. Victoria asked one more question. Sometimes it's flowing, but I always get intense feelings in my chest and stomach that can sometimes feel like anxiety. And yes, I zone while driving. We talked about that. And now that I know what's happening, I say out loud, not now. So it's because the energy is building in the body because you're not connecting to it in the mind. You're trying to push it away, but it's something they really want you to know about. Also, those could be main parts. You should look into the human design. It'll tell you where you channel in your body and what organs you use mostly, especially with like your empathic abilities. I would be willing to bank money on the fact that something with the chest comes up and something with the stomach comes up. I definitely have a hard time looking at pictures of JR's daddy. Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to book a reading with you, how would they get a hold of you?
We've got it in the ticker right here below or above us. It is www.jordanhawk.com, and it's hawk like the bird, HAWK.
And what kind of readings could they book with you besides just your what you would consider just psychic and mediumship readings?
So do you offer those? I offer text, 30-minute and hour sessions you can book specifically for that. I also offer Akashic record readings. Now that Akashic records are the entirety of your soul, how many lives you've lived, who you were in those lives, what your soul has experienced, trauma you're still carrying from the past, influences in this life from those past lives. That one you can book. And it's a video recorded message that is then emailed to you. And I like to do it that way because you can watch that over and over and over and over again. And in each one of those readings, I guarantee your origin. So that is awesome. And to be able to go back to that and go, oh, that's right, she did say that. And then those people have these gifts and abilities, and this means this. And then it's this whole rabbit hole you fall down in that reading. I do also offer virtual group readings. In order to book a virtual group reading, you have to click on, so there's a tab that says appointments and then another tab that says classes and events. If you want to book a virtual group, you have to book it through the events tab, and also same day readings. Something crazy happens, you need to talk to me that day, you can book it in that events tab too.
Okay. Seven, did you have any questions before we get off of here?
I probably do. And I'm like looking at the time. I'm like, crap, I got to do this. So my brain's like all over the place. Let me think of a really good one to end it out with. Give me a second.
Even if you can't, that's fine too. This has been awesome. It's been so fun.
I was hoping for the rooster, but I didn't get that.
He's probably wandered off by now.
How close to the house do they come?
Right outside the window, right next to me.
You know what's funny is my father he passed. He loved them so much that he had one in his house, right? Until the whole town got together because 3-4 o'clock in the morning, because it wasn't when the sun came up, it was in the middle of the night that this thing would just go off. So he had to get rid of it. But roosters were his thing. So I think it's
This one and I have a fatal attraction. He goes from flirting with me to attacking me viciously and a second's notice. So he's not allowed in the house or be detrimental to my health. But does Jordan want to say anything before we end here?
Yeah, not everything is as scary as it seems. Not everything wants to hurt you. Not everything's out there to wreak havoc and cause danger. And it's so important that you trust your intuition with everything that you do. Trust your gut. What are you feeling? What is the true nature of what it is that you're experiencing? Almost every time you have a psychic or spiritual experience, it's scary at first because you don't know. But if you can push past that and go, was my body telling me, do I actually need to leave this room? Do I actually need to sage? Do I actually need to do this? Can I, move into this? Can I figure out who this is? What's going on? Always trust yourself. You are in control of everything that happens to you. That is my big disclaimer for everything. You are always in control.
Okay. Do we want to announce next week's episode?
Oh, yeah.
So next week in the hot seat is 7. And we're going to be talking about all things tarot. So if you want to text the number scrolling across the bottom of the screen, message, ask questions, call in, leave voicemails, anything about tarot experiences, tarot readings. And we usually do Sundays. Today is the rando. Today was supposed to be a pre-recorded, and we just got together. We're like, fuck it, let's go live. But next week's will be on Sunday. What was that? The 29th?
I have no idea.
Oh man, whatever the Sunday after Christmas is. I think
28th.
it's the 29th. 28th?
It's the 28th.
It's the 28th at noon.
Yep.
So tune in, YouTube, Facebook. We're going to try TikTok. Hopefully all of our technical difficulties are gone by next week, and we've experimented and made all of the mistakes, and then everything will be ready to go on 3 platforms for next week for 7's exciting episode about tarot.
Also, last thing I want to tell you guys, we have not quite smashed that 50 subscribers yet. As soon as we do, we're going to do the raffle. Literally the day we hit it, we'll go live, we'll put all your names into it, and we'll do that raffle. And somebody is going to win a powerhouse of a reading for free from all 3 of us all at once.
Now, what are we at right now? Does anybody know?
39?
Y'all go tell 11 people. Hey.
Yes, 39.
Don't create another YouTube account. Hurry
We're
up.
at 39 subscribers right now.
Actually, if they created YouTube accounts, that would give them more entries
That's
into
true.
winning.
You can do that too. You can put yourself in there twice.
Or
Listen,
more.
as long as we don't see it, it's not cheating.
Right?
I don't even care.
Just bending the rules.
Rules were made to be broken, most of them anyway. That's how I feel.
Yes, especially ones that we deem breakable.
Right. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. This was amazing. I loved all of your questions. I loved being in the hot seat. That was so fun. And we're looking forward to Grilling 7 next week. We'll see
Yes,
you guys then.
I'm not a good host, so I'm looking forward to not having to host again.
What?
Just for that,
I
I'm putting
feel
you
like
back
I
in
was
the
in the
hot
hot
seat.
seat more today, having to ask questions and go through comments than I did last week when I was. So we're turning it back over to Jordan next week as we all just attack 7 with all of our questions.
Fair. All right, we'll see you guys then. Y'all have a
Merry
beautiful week.
Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Hi, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.